Imagine it's 3:30 a.m. and your alarm clock is ringing. And this time it's not because you have to catch a flight, but you have the very strange idea in your head that you want to go on an epic bike ride. 300 kilometers on one day on a bike. Who of you have strange hobbies that make you rise up that early? I see some. That makes me feel good that I'm not alone with that strange hobby. So my alarm rang at 3:30. 300 kilometers on a bike before me. When I was ready to go, it was still dark. It was cold. My bike light was casting reflection in the fog while I was biking along the river. No one around me. No cars. No birds. Not even street lights. Just the silver beam of light in the fog. But I kept pedaling. I kept pedaling. And I kept pedaling without stopping. And suddenly, the pitch black sky turned slight blue. And I kept pedaling. And then there was a darker blue and orange and red. And then finally, the sun came out and I could see what's outside of this silver beam in the fog. I had left the river a lot of kilometers ago. And now I was climbing through winding roads up the mountain. And when the sun was finally shining and I reached the mountaintop, I looked behind and I saw all the way that I have done. All these winding roads and climbs. And I wasn't aware of them. I was on my bike and I kept pedaling. And I kept pedaling. And I didn't see the road that was before me. I didn't see the road that was behind me. I just saw that silver beam of light in the fog. And then suddenly I saw it. Wow, Thilo, you're doing a great job. But my bike computer told me, boy, you did 90 kilometers. Still 210 to go. Whoa! And I already climbed up the mountain with my legs empty, with my stomach hungry. I took another look down the valley, appreciated all the beauty, and decided to keep on pedaling. Because after the mountain, there's a descent. So I enjoyed the descent, enjoyed the fresh air on my face. And then I reached another river. Hundreds of kilometers, just flat along the riverbed. The sun that I was longing for at the hours of darkness was now burning. And I was reaching for shadow. I carried 2 bottles with me, but both of them were empty. So I was looking in the villages I crossed if I could find a cemetery, because at the cemetery you can get free water. And I was wondering, at the hours of darkness, I was wishing to have some sunlight. And then it was finally there. And I wished for shadow. But I kept on pedaling. There's no choice. I was 150, 160, 170 kilometers from home. Call a taxi for 170 kilometers, not a good idea. So I kept on pedaling. Some kilometers later, I left the second river and there was another climb. So I felt the history repeat itself. Again a climb. But this time, it was daylight. So I saw the climb. And seeing the climb coming up, that made me think, oh my God, it's so steep. Oh my God, it's so long. If it would have been dark, I wouldn't have seen it. I had my 15 meters of vision in the silver beam of my bike light in the fog. And I wouldn't have cared if the climb was 2,000 meters or 200 meters. Do you notice that contrast? The same climb in darkness. You don't think about it. But if you see it, you say, oh my God, this is huge. I will never be able to do it. Have you heard of the saying? Everyone said, that's impossible. Then someone came who didn't know that and did it. The last 100 kilometers. The final stretch to make it to the finish. To complete my epic bike ride of 300 kilometers in one day. Suddenly sirens behind me. Police. Okay, I go to the right, let the police pass, but the police didn't pass. Okay, sirens. Okay, I stopped, please pass. Okay, the police car sat in front of me, 2 policemen jump off the car. Biker, you didn't use the bike lane. That's 20 euros fine. I said, officer, I'm doing a competition. I have already 250 kilometers on my clock. You're telling me I didn't use the bike lane. So in the end, I didn't have to pay the 20 euros fine, but I still had to fight with the officer, verbally, of course. Are you curious whether I made it home? I did. I did. I did. And I slept the deepest sleep of my life with 300 kilometers in my leg. And I thought, how would it be tomorrow? Will I have sore legs? Will my legs burn? But then the new day was dawning and I felt like reborn, as if I had done nothing. Amazing. But this bike ride told me something about life, about how to tackle things. And it also told me something about the leadership I experienced here at Toastmasters. When I started my journey here at Toastmasters last year, we were 8 people in this room. And now, 38. We wouldn't have seen it before. People would have said, it's impossible to get this huge room full of people. But here we are. What I did on the bike, I kept on pedaling. What I did at Toastmasters, I kept on announcing the meetings, inviting people, motivating people to give speeches. There were setbacks, but there were also great sessions. And here we are tonight with 38 people in the room, filling this room with speeches, with leadership, with sparks, with that empowerment to become better speakers and better leaders. Sometimes we must be conscious that what we see can be overcome. Even if we think that the challenges are so big that we won't overcome them. But we have the ability, if we believe in ourselves, if we don't stop pedaling, we can overcome these challenges. And so much is possible if we keep on doing the things that we are doing. Keep on pedaling through the hard times, because a new day will be dawning.